some people, I've heard a few people, you probably can name on one hand, that said they never argue with their spouse and that they have this peaceful bliss, ambiance 24/7, 365. I don't know how that works because, me and my husband, we know we strong minded. We're individuals. You feel me? Got a lot to say. You hear me, Pastor Carl? Got a lot to say. So I want to throw this question out here. When you have conflicts in your household, and it's not like you're going to blows, but extreme, differences and arguments happen or what have you. How do you deal with that? How do you work through that? And then I'm going to go one notch further after that. So anybody can answer. Specifically, want to hear from the married men. How do you overcome intense conflict in your home? Don't share no personal business because we don't want no households getting broken up over this. But just in briefing, we coming for unity, no division. But in briefing, if it's something that can help somebody, how do you and your spouse overcome conflicts? Because they gonna happen. They gonna happen.
Yeah, definitely. That's just a part of life. Um, so when those times come, you have to understand your spouse's temperament as well as your own. So tones change, the nonverbals, the body language, all that plays a part. So just kind of be wary of that when tensions are high. And sometimes what you could possibly say at that time, just probably not say it or just kind of reserve that because sometimes you or your partner may just need some space. Just go ahead and chill out. I'm gonna be over here ducked off. Let me go take a little quick jog or let me go hoop or whatever you do in your spare time. Either one of you need to leave or that space sometimes need to just happen. There's nothing really that can be said at that time that kind of like health, really help dissolve the situation all at once. So um, just know some things that you can do to diffuse the situation. And it just comes with time. Sometimes you're not gonna know exactly what to do. Sometimes you give them in that space, they don't like that. Like, why are you leaving? No, we're gonna talk about this right now. Like, well, hold on. Well, I can't really contribute at the time right now. Let me get some time to cool off. I'm gonna say something I may regret, or I just may be wrong in how I handle the whole situation. So um, it goes back to just knowing their temperament, knowing how they handle these type of situations. Is it good to get away? Is it good to just to be there? Um, Maybe be more productive around the crib until y'all get to that point where y'all can talk and hash things out. So it just depends on that person. I don't think there's like this a strict rule that you have to do or step by step for everyone to follow. I think it's different case by case. So just knowing that person, um, knowing that okay, I may not have the answer right now, or maybe I don't need to have the answer. Maybe that's something that you may come back to me tomorrow and say, you know what, I messed up. I shouldn't even been hollering at you like that for real. Like, cause my wife, she didn't came back to me and was like, I apologize. I was tripping on something else. That wasn't you. You didn't do anything. But it could have went wrong if you had snapped on it, you know what I mean, and not kind of just held back. Like, hold on, this ain't really me. This you dealing with something else right now. Hold on, So just being having that wherewithal of the other person and yourself.
I think to to what Deshar is saying, I think it's important that you understand your conflict styles, how you do conflict, and this is something that you could really work on if you're single. You could really work on your doing conflict well, so that when you come to the table, you come to marriage, you're more prepared for it. But I'll say, like, for us, me and my wife have extremely different conflict styles. We're both very headstrong people. We're both very, like you said, Amber, like individuals, individualistic in a sense. And so in the first year of our marriage, even to this day, like learning to do conflict well has been a journey. Because for me, like I embrace conflict. Some people look at conflict as a bad thing, as like a completely negative thing. But conflict is not negative. It's what you choose to do with it that could make it negative. How you choose to respond to conflict determines if you're going to have a fruitful outcome or a really bad outcome. And so for me, I'm like, nah, let's what's good? Let's talk right now. You know, you have a problem, you got attitudes all in your face, like what's good? And my wife, she doesn't do confrontation well. So the moment that there is like the like head on, like let's talk about it, she kind of shuts down. And then the shutdown also triggers me, and I'm like, what is the problem? You know what I mean? So we had to really find a balance of how to communicate well, how to do conflict well. It has taken not just patience on our part, not just a commitment to our marriage and to our union, because sometimes when y'all get into it, if you're not careful, you could say something wrong and go the wrong direction. So as Deshar said, like it could really go the wrong direction. So having a guard over your tongue is going to be really important. And I think having outlets where you can go to talk, to seek wise counsel, to gain insight into how to process through these things, whether that's professional counseling or whether you have a couple that you can go and talk things out to. And even as just Deshar said, like space really is important. I'm a person who doesn't like space because I'm like, I don't want this confrontation to last like 2 weeks, so let's just settle it right now. Whereas my wife needs time to process her thoughts. Like I'm very quick on my feet, where she is not. So finding those spaces where we can compromise with each other with the intention of a fruitful outcome.
So good. So good. You said something about conflict styles, and I know your background, you have some counseling and all of that insight. Can you speak to that a little bit for some people that don't know? What does he
Yeah,
mean by conflict styles? What's that?
yeah. So I don't know the professional or clinical terms, but conflict styles are like just how you interact with conflict. Like, are you somebody who flies off the handle and cusses everybody out? Are you somebody that has it's what Deshar said, your temperament? Like, how do you interact with these things? Are you a runner or are you a person that likes to stay and engage? All of these things matter. There are clinical terms. I would definitely encourage everyone to do some research on conflict styles. There's plenty of content on the internet and probably some more clinical terms that could help you navigate. But a conflict style is just how do you handle conflict?